All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to trace Argentina's completely unbelievable journey from their historic 2022 victory right up to the precipice of a legendary back-to-back title in 2026. We're literally standing on the edge of sports history right now. And to truly appreciate what Lionel Scaloni's team is trying to pull off, we've got to look at the roadmap of this modern dynasty.
To really wrap our heads around the stakes here, we have to look back at that 2022 World Cup Final against France. Just look at this staggering number, 1.5 billion. That's 1.5 billion people worldwide who tuned in to watch that event unfold. I mean, that's almost a fifth of the global population. When you capture the attention of that many people, the pressure to maintain that pinnacle of success is, well, it's almost unimaginable.
And that bridges the gap perfectly to what we're looking at today. We are tracking the evolution from that ultimate triumph in Qatar, where they dethroned the defending champs, France, to this impending 2026 showdown against Spain in New York and New Jersey. We're watching a team transition from hunting the crown to wearing it, and now to defending it against a rising power.
Section 1. The 2022 World Cup Triumph, a grueling path to glory. Before we get into Sunday's massive final, we really need to establish just how resilient this team is by looking at how this whole run started. Their 2022 campaign, it was an absolute gauntlet. They didn't just breeze to a championship, they survived it. They actually started with a shocking 2-1 loss to Saudi Arabia. Fun fact, only one other team in history, Spain in 2010, had ever won a World Cup after losing their opening match. But Argentina rallied. They navigated a wildly controversial 2-2 draw against the Netherlands that went to penalty kicks. They crushed Croatia 3-0 in the semifinal. And then, the whole shebang. A breathtaking 3-3 draw against France, surviving a brilliant hat trick by Kylian Mbappe to win on penalties. This is a team built purely on resilience.
Section 2. Defending the title in 2026. A strong start in Group J.
Fast forward 4 years, right? This squad touches down in the United States with one singular, historic goal: become the first back-to-back World Cup champions since Brazil pulled it off way back in 1958 and 1962. And they immediately set the tone in Group J. Argentina sat confidently at the top of the standings with 3 points alongside Austria, securing a super convincing 3-0 victory over Algeria in Kansas City to open their campaign. No opening match stumble this time around for sure. They came out of the gates looking every bit like the defending champions they are.
Section 3. Navigating the knockout bracket, the road ahead.
So with that early momentum rolling, the Argentines quickly had to start plotting their path through a really complex 2026 knockout format. The big question is, what exact logistical hurdles did La Albiceleste have to clear to actually make it back to the biggest stage in sports? The expanded tournament meant a whole lot more variables and a longer road than ever before.
Let's break down the scenarios they were looking at. If they finished first in Group J, they'd be advancing to a July 3rd match in Miami against the Group H runner-up. And Group H had heavyweights like Spain and Uruguay. But if they slipped to second, they'd be flying all the way across the country to Los Angeles to face the Group H winner. The geographic and competitive demands of this specific tournament are just immense. It really required them to be adaptable, focused, and ready for massive showdowns the second the group stage ended.
Section 4. The dramatic semifinal comeback. Knockout heroics against England.
Okay, let's fast forward to the absolute climax of this tournament. I want you to picture the scene here. It's the semifinal in Atlanta. You're the defending champions. You're down 1-0. You're literally just 5 minutes away from elimination. Staring down that deficit with the clock ticking toward the 90th minute, Argentina's dream of defending their title was slipping away fast.
But then, out of nowhere, the absolute magic of this team came alive. In the 85th minute, Lionel Messi links up with Enzo Fernandez, who just blasts this insane long-range equalizer past Jordan Pickford. Then, deep into stoppage time, the 92nd minute, after a shot pings off the post by Alexis McAllister, Messi quickly grabs possession and finds Lautaro Martinez at the far post. Martinez scores a dramatic header to win it 2-1. Guys, that's 2 clutch assists from Messi in the span of 7 minutes, orchestrating one of the most unbelievable late comebacks in tournament history.
Goal scorer Lautaro Martinez summed up the emotional pandemonium perfectly with this quote. He said, "This is very powerful. This team keeps on showing what it's made of. And honestly, that is absolutely crucial to take away from this. Tactical brilliance is one thing, right? But the psychological fortitude to pull victory from the jaws of defeat on the global stage, that's what separates a good team from a true dynasty."
Even head coach Lionel Scaloni was incredibly moved by it.
He told reporters, "Beyond the quality of the opponent, it's a semifinal. I think today's level was incredible." Scaloni even compared the gravity of this match, and just the crazy way it happened, to Diego Maradona's legendary performance against England in the 1986 World Cup quarterfinals. When the coach is comparing your current run to the most sacred moments in your nation's sporting history, you know you're witnessing something incredibly special.
Section 5. Messi shatters World Cup records, the compounding legacy. Now, obviously, we can't talk about Argentina's compounding success without looking at the architect behind it all, Lionel Messi. Just look at this single number, 21. This represents Messi's jaw-dropping new record for all-time World Cup goals. He entered this tournament already a living legend, having tied Miroslav Klose's record of 16 goals right out of the gate with a hat trick against Algeria. And, well, he just kept scoring. The milestones here are, frankly, dizzying. Messi has been an absolute force of nature this summer. He has a personal best 12 goal contributions in just the 2026 tournament alone. That's 8 goals and 4 assists, easily surpassing Kylian Mbappe in the race for the Golden Boot. And on top of the 21 all-time goals, Messi now holds the record for the most all-time World Cup assists with 12. He's the first Argentinian player to ever appear in 6 World Cups, and he's currently riding a historic 9-game World Cup goal-scoring streak. As his coach pointed out, what more does the guy have to do to be considered the best in history? The stats make it pretty clear he has absolutely nothing left to prove.
Section 6. The 2026 final matchup. The ultimate test.
And that legendary run brings us right to the present moment. Argentina is gearing up for the final on Sunday, and we are set for an absolute dream matchup. On the left, Argentina, the reigning defending world champions. On the right, Spain, the reigning UEFA European champions, who are coming off a totally dominant 2-0 semifinal win over the favorites, France. It's a clash of current titans, a real heavyweight battle between the ultimate champions of their respective continents.
But here is where the story gets super poetic. Spain is bringing a massive threat to the pitch. 19-year-old Lamine Yamal. This kid was the hero of Spain's Euro 24 title, and he's famously hailed by pretty much everyone in the soccer world as Lionel Messi's own successor at FC Barcelona. You know, the exact same club where Messi built his legendary status over 17 seasons. It is literally the veteran master facing down his rising prodigy. You couldn't script it any better.
So it really all comes down to this final provocative question. Can Lionel Messi and Argentina pull off the impossible encore against Spain and officially cement the greatest dynasty in modern soccer history? Will the master fend off his 19-year-old heir, or are we going to see a brand new era ushered in on Sunday? We've explored the data, we've retraced the unbelievable comebacks, and we've seen the record shattered. Now the only thing left to do is watch history unfold.